This is how you turn it on. This is your music. This is your email. This is the web. And this is a call on your iPhone.
Hello YouTube, this is Super Apple Forever. So in this video I'm going to review the first generation iPhone, and I will also go over all the hardware and software and stuff. So before I go into detail, I originally had, my first iPhone was an iPhone 3GS 8GB, which was my first iPhone, like I said. It's a great phone, but 8 gigs really isn't enough for me, so that's why I downgraded to the first generation. And I know that some people would think that's kind of a bad idea, but not really for me, since I don't really play a lot of games on it. I just use it for texting, phone calls, and YouTube. I don't really use it for a few games, for mini games, but I do play some games on it. And it does handle them pretty well, except for it does lag a little bit, which I will show you in a second. But anyway, we'll go over the outside of the phone. So you can see that it looks like any other iPhone. The only difference is how this feels a little bit rougher than the 3GS, the screen, the touchscreen. But again, on the back you can see that it is the original one. It has the aluminum back on it, and the plastic black antenna for Wi-Fi and Edge. This is not a 3G phone, it's a 2G, otherwise known as Edge. Edge is a little bit slower, but not by too bad. It's not too bad. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it says 16 gigs because it is a 16 gig phone. Unlike my 3GS, it was an 8 gig. But here you can see the headphone jack, and it really isn't a good headphone jack, because it's like, you can see right here that the aluminum is quite thick right here, so you can't connect all headphones to it. Here's the SIM tray. The SIM tray is really nice. So when I put my SIM card in here from my 3GS, the SIM tray is completely made out of aluminum. It's not made out of plastic like the 3GS. I'm not sure what the fourth generation iPhone is made out of, but this one, the SIM card case is completely made out of aluminum. And I apologize for the camera not focusing, but here's the sleep wake button, and on this side you have your vibrate and the volume keys. So I guess I'll turn it on now, or go into the home screen. So it's real simple. You just slide to unlock, type in your passcode, and you're taken to your home screen. Of course, this does run iOS 3 on it, not iOS 4. So now we're going to take a look at the software on it. It is running iOS 3, like I said. We'll go into System Preferences, and then General, About, and you can see that it is AT&T, of course, and I have 14.6 gigs available. It has a capacity of that, I apologize, and it has software version 3.1.3, which is the latest it has, and this iPhone is jailbroken. I jailbroke it with Jailbreak Me, and it actually worked very well. You can't use Jailbreak Me on newer devices because it doesn't support them. It only supports to, I believe, 4.0 or 4.1, I'm not sure. But it's a great phone. You can see I have a lot of songs on it and stuff, and it handles all that pretty well. So we'll just start opening some applications, I guess. We'll open up weather, and you can see that they launch fairly fast. and it doesn't take very long for them to load. But of course, I am on Wi-Fi right now. So now we'll take a look at calculator. Of course, just a simple calculator. And for these small applications, it does launch them pretty fast. Of course, all of these are Apple applications, so of course they're going to be designed to launch pretty fast on the first iPhone. We'll open up iTunes. That'll take a little bit longer to come on. So you can see it loads pretty fast. Okay, so I'll go into movies and I'll go into... Okay, so I guess now we'll just watch the preview. So you can see that it plays video really well. The speaker's really good.
They say they are. You got a walkie. A defector.
No one can sort out a nut job in a real thing faster than you.
Today, a Russian agent will travel to New York City to kill the president.
This guy's selling smoke. Wrap it up, Ev.
The name of the agent is Evelyn Salt.
My name is Evelyn Salt.
Then you are a Russian spy.
Where's Daddy?
You have any idea who this woman is? What she's done for this country?
Protocol is clear. We bring her in or we bring her down. Here she is.
I'm innocent! Somebody is setting me up!
So you can see that it does play video very well. Not very much lag. So, yeah, so that's iTunes. It works just like on any other iPhone. So, yeah, it is jailbroken. You can see that I have Cydia right here and SB settings. And it's really good for, like, if you have, like, really intense stuff open, like Google Earth or something, which Google Earth runs very slow on here. You can open processes, and then you can press free up memory, and then it'll take a couple seconds. And you can see right now I only have 32 megs of memory, or I'm sorry, 37. And now I have 42, so it does help a little bit with that. So let's see, we'll go into YouTube, I guess. And again, it's just simple video playing, so again, it's not going to take very much on the processor. But one thing to note, it does get extremely hot at sometimes. Not like, oh, I don't mean to say extremely hot. It gets very hot, not extremely hot. It definitely gets hotter than the 3GS, but it gets really warm when you're like doing graphical stuff like games and stuff like that. It does get pretty hot. So you can see that the YouTube app does open up, and it opens up fairly fast. Of course, you're not going to get the like and dislike since this is iOS 3. You only get 5 stars. So we'll go into Weather Channel Max. And you can see that it did open up pretty fast. And it runs really smooth. Not slow at all. So now we'll go into Cydia. And for some reason, Cydia is very, very slow on here. It's probably the slowest thing on the phone. So you can see it took a while to load. And I'll just press search. And then you'll see, I'll just type in something. And you'll see how it lags. It does work. I mean, it's not like it's so slow that you can't do anything with it. But it is a little bit sluggish. Also, if you are jailbroken and you have the original iPhone, you can get some video applications to record video with, which I'm using this one. It's pretty good. So I guess we'll open up Angry Birds, and that's not too graphic or graphically intense. It's a little bit. It slows it down a little bit, but not too bad. So you can see that it did start up pretty fast. So yeah, you can see that it does play it pretty well. Okay, so now I'll open up Namco. And you can see that it is sluggish a little bit, like right here, but it's not too bad. So I haven't played this game on here yet, so I'm not sure how it's gonna do, so this will be pretty interesting. So I apologize if it's not gonna be in focus. So you can see that it is playing pretty well on here. So I'm not doing so good, but you can see that it is playing it very well. It's not slowing down at all. It's responding very fast. So I just quit it. I pressed the home button. so it's kind of slowing down now for some reason. Okay, so now I'll load some web pages on Wi-Fi, then I'll go into Edge, which is what this phone runs on, not 3G. And again, I apologize for it not focusing. Let me see if I can fix that. Well, it helps if I zoom in, but anyway, I'll open up Safari. So now I'll go into apple.com. So you can see that it loaded very fast, not too bad of a speed. And now we'll go into something that is that would take a little bit longer to load. We'll go into eBay. And then we'll go into the full site. Which, by the way, this can handle full web pages very well. It handles them great, just like the 3GS, although again it is a little bit slower, like when you zoom in and stuff. Like for instance this, it takes a little bit more time to zoom in and to focus or repixelize or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, you can see that it is showing the full website, no problem at all. So now I'm going to switch into Edge. So I'll do that with SB settings real quick, and I'll turn off Wi-Fi. And then you'll see the little E appear, if it'll focus, for Edge. And then we'll go to eBay again. And it will take a little bit longer, but it isn't that slow. But of course I have full bars right now. When you only have two bars, it can get very slow. So I'll just click this, get a $200 guarantee for your old iPhone. So I'll just click on that. So yeah, if it was 3G, it would have already loaded by now, but still, it's not too bad of a speed. It doesn't bother me that much. So you can see that it's almost loaded it all the way. And it does load pretty well. So now we'll go back to apple.com. Sorry about that. So you can see that it did load Apple pretty fast. So I'll turn Wi-Fi back on. So my final thoughts are, it really is a great phone, even if it is the original iPhone. Coming from a 3GS, I do think it is a little bit slower than the 3GS. Not by much, but it is fairly slower than the 3GS. But it still is a great phone, and it still has a lot of uses for today. Another thing I love about it is the aluminum. Of course, as you know, the new iPhones are not made out of aluminum. None of them are. Only the original one is. The 3G isn't, the 3GS isn't, and the 4 isn't. But I really like the aluminum design. As you can see, it goes great with the Mac design. It's made out of the exact same aluminum. And it just really looks nice. I don't care about this. It doesn't really bother me, the antenna, and it might help improve the antenna or the signal strength. I don't really know, but since this is like really clear plastic with a little bit of a black on it, I think it's good for the antenna. Of course, probably the aluminum helps with antenna strength too, but that's just my opinion. But anyway, I like the black on white. It looks really nice, or the black on the aluminum color. It looks really nice, and I like the quality of this phone. I don't think the new ones are the 3GS and the 3G aren't built with as nice quality as this one. Because you know the backs of them are made out of plastic. It's not even aluminum or any metal. It's just plastic, and it gets scratched really easily. But yeah, I really like the look of the aluminum, like I said. The speaker, which is down here, I think it's a better speaker. It's not as loud as the 3GS, but it has more bass. Since it's a little bit of a thicker phone, it has a bigger speaker. So I really like the speaker on it. It's not as loud, but it has a lot of bass on it. So I really like that. The only downside is on the overall design itself, not the software. The overall design is right here on this. There's no speaker grill. On the 3GS there is, but on this one there's not. But one plus to the design is that, of course, the aluminum and all that other stuff. But like on the 3GS, you'd have the 2 screws right here. On the original one, you don't get those screws. Actually, to take it apart, you start off by like getting a prying tool and just pry this black part off. It comes off very easily if you're trying to take it apart. But yeah, I really like it. The touchscreen is great. It responds very fast, and it's just a great phone. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. And thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.